Are you feeling inflamed, foggy, or fatigued? Well, it could be that your detoxification systems need some support. Let's break down how you can do that naturally and effectively using science-based solutions. Hi, I'm Dr. Patricia Mills, holistic medical doctor with natural root cause solutions to your health concerns, and welcome to the Wild Wisdom Show. Today, we're going to be talking about how to support your detox systems for better health and less inflammation. It's interesting because I've been doing a deep dive into inflammation, and check out the caption below for a link to my inflammation playlist if you want to know what it is, what are the root causes, what are things that can improve it. But one of the things that needs to be covered is the fact that if your detoxification systems have been negatively affected due to reasons that I'll explain, you may be experiencing more inflammation than you would otherwise, or maybe that problem with your detoxification systems is what is causing your inflammation in the first place. Either way, improving and supporting your natural detoxification pathways will result in less inflammation, which basically results in you feeling better in every way and may even improve a lot of the health conditions that you are experiencing and hopefully prevent ones from happening in the future. Let's break down how to support them powerfully and naturally. We're going to cover what are your detoxification systems and what you can do to help support them. Your body detoxifies every day, and thank goodness, the natural systems of detoxification have been in place due to evolution. There are natural toxins in the environment, and now there are artificial ones, and it seems that our systems of detoxification are able to deal with the artificial ones as well, but up to a certain point. There comes a point where it becomes overloaded and overburdened, and that's when we really need to come in and support our systems because of this burden of toxins in our environment that's been increasing due to our modern way of living. And rather than burying our head in the sand, we just have to accept what's happening and then take action. Now, what is important to know is that your skin, your sweating, your lymphatic system, your gut, your liver and kidneys are working behind the scenes every day to help you detoxify. And if you don't detoxify well, that will result in inflammation. It manifests in health conditions like weight gain, possibly hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia, stroke, heart attacks. Basically, almost every chronic disease has a connection to inflammation. And when you lower inflammation, those things get better or can be prevented. And it can also result in problems with hormone balance. I've done a deep dive just into hormone balance and weight gain and those specific hormone imbalances that can occur. So when we support detoxification, we're really helping all of our systems to improve. Now let's dive into each system individually. So your skin is a master organ of detoxification. It absorbs things and it eliminates things, and it eliminates primarily through your sweat. So you want to sweat it out. And there was an interesting study called the BUS study, blood, urine, sweat, and it showed that many toxins, especially the artificial ones going into our environment or through our cosmetics, things that we put on our skin, are being absorbed into our fat tissues. And one of the best ways to detoxify those toxins is through sweat, even better than urine and other ways of detoxification. So sweating it out is especially key in this modern day society. Now, that could be through exercising, that could be through saunas, and you want to make sure that you're well hydrated because you want to be able to generate the sweat through good hydration. And people will always ask, well, which is the best kind of sauna? And the truth is that any sauna that causes you to sweat. So sometimes moist heat saunas are difficult to tell if you're sweating because it can actually be a dewing of the skin due to the moisture in the air. So sometimes dry saunas and infrared saunas, for example, are more helpful to know that you're actually generating sweat. It's really any way that you can cause sweating to occur. And there seems to be some additional benefits from sauna that you get for sweating, and also from exercising, you get other benefits. So it's not that one is better than the other, it's that they both cause you to sweat, And you want to have a good balance of both in your life. However, for some people, they can't exercise, and therefore sauna can be a really great option. Now, the other key is that we don't want to impair our skin's ability to detoxify. And so we really want to avoid toxic skincare products. And that can be multiple things like your body lotion, your shampoo, your conditioner, your hair styling lotions, your cosmetics like your blush, mascara, foundation, lipstick, and even nail polish. Those things can actually get absorbed through the nails, through the skin, into your body, and add to the burden of what your skin needs to detoxify out again. So rather than continuing to overload that system, let's decrease what's going in and help what's going out in order to help our system of detoxification. And this is very, very powerful. And I'm going to include household products as well. The products that you're using to wash your dishes in the dishwasher. For example, I don't put rinse aid. So the dishes really don't need rinse aid. That's a gimmick to try to get you to buy more products to make your dishes look shinier and cleaner. It's really not worth the health risk because there's a lot of that rinse aid left over on the dishes. And so we really want to decrease our overall toxic burden in order to improve our detoxification systems. The other system of detoxification is the lymphatic system. You can think of it as your waste highway. The lymphatic system is a network of vessels running through your body that have multiple functions, including allowing the immune system to move through your body, but also it helps move the waste that your cells create day to day. It's just like in the house when you're cooking, you have waste products as a result of the cooking and you want to get rid of it. You put it in the garbage, you put it in recycling or the compost. Then you have to get it out of the house or else the house starts to get dirty and overburdened. And your lymphatic system is like that waste removal system. So you want to make sure that the lymph fluid is moving regularly. And one of the best ways to help do that is through inducing movement through muscle contraction. So things like rebounding, walking, jumping, exercising. Rebounding is interesting because basically rebounding is jumping on a mini trampoline. And research has shown that it has a very powerful pumping action on the body. When you're jumping up, the body expands, and when you jump down, it contracts. And that expanding contraction moment can actually help pump some of the waste products from the cells through the lymphatic system. So it really helps with drainage. Walking and exercising, jumping, all of those can help as well. But rebounding seems to be especially powerful. And sauna time is also helpful for the lymphatic system. Not only does it increase blood flow, but it also increases that lymphatic flow as well. And for some people, using lymphatic massage can be very, very effective to move that lymphatic fluid and help with that detoxification system. The next system of detoxification we're going to go into is the gut and the bowels. It's the detox drain pipe. It's where a lot of the toxins that are created by your liver in the liver's effort to detoxify, it gets dumped from the liver into the bile and the bile into the gut. You have to make sure that you're pooping at least once every day. If you're not doing that, you're basically in a form of constipation, either from mild to severe, depending on how many days between your poops. But a good healthy gut will be pooping at least one really great bowel movement per day. And we want to make sure that we have enough fiber in that poop. Fiber from vegetable fiber is very effective to help bind the toxins so they stay in the gut and don't get reabsorbed into the body. You want to aim to have some source of high fiber vegetables at every meal. So that could be lettuces, green leafy things, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, cabbage. All of those very high fiber vegetables can be very helpful. And for some people, we need to cook those vegetables before eating them, or else it can be a little bit hard on the digestive system to be digesting raw vegetable fiber. And when you have that with every meal, you're basically helping that gut detoxification system. Also, we want to make sure that the poop moves through the gut. So daily movement can speed up waste removal. Rebounding also, taking back to that jumping up and down on a mini trampoline or on a big trampoline, can also help move the products through the gut. Sleeping at the right time also helps because when we are in deep sleep, sometime between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., we have what are called the giant peristaltic contractions. And that peristalsis, those big contractions of the gut, help sweep the poop from the top to the bottom of the gut. And that happens primarily at night. So you've got small contractions happening through the day, but this big wave, this big cleansing contraction wave happens primarily at night through that deep sleep process. So you want to make sure that you're getting good quality sleep. And if you're finding that this plus hydration, so drinking enough water, again, to help move that poop and those contents of the gut through and out at the right time, at least once a day, you may need to use magnesium citrate if all of those strategies are not enough. Magnesium citrate is a supplement that is basically magnesium bound with citrate. Citrate keeps the magnesium mostly in the gut, and that creates more molecules in the gut drawing water into the gut, and that helps flush out the poop. For that, you still need to be drinking enough water to have water to be drawn into the gut, or for that water to stay in the gut and help flush out the system. That can be very helpful for people who are having chronic constipation. And when you stay on top of these strategies over the long term, you may need less and less magnesium over time, and you may even be able to stop it, having it regularly, and just use it for occasional bouts of constipation. But it can be a really great rescue for when we are in a constipation crisis. You also want to support the health of your gut microbiome, because your gut microbiome, that community of organisms living in your gut, actually help with your detoxification. They are sometimes the first line of defense. They will eat toxins present in your environment and help break them down. And they will also help keep the toxins that your liver creates and excretes in the gut rather than being reabsorbed into the body. And when the gut microbiome is not healthy, that system is disturbed. So you're going to want to also go into my gut health playlist on my YouTube channel. You can find it there. If you don't know how to support your gut microbiome health, there's lots of very effective strategies that you can explore. The next system of detoxification are the liver and the kidneys, and these are your master filters. As I mentioned before, your liver breaks down many of the toxins that we're exposed to, both natural and artificial, which is so amazing. So grateful that the liver has been able to adjust and take on that artificial toxic burden. But it does get overwhelmed, and sometimes it gets to the point where it just can't do the work. It can also get harmed by things like too much alcohol, too much sugar, too much fructose from simple sugars that are added to ultra-processed foods, present in sweet drinks. Even fruit juices are very high in fructose, and sugar and fructose are very damaging to the liver and can cause things like fatty liver disease. And so when we harm the liver, we really impair that system of detoxification. And we can support the liver with a whole foods diet. The liver needs the nutrients from vegetables called phytonutrients, as well as vitamins, minerals to do the detoxification process. And also the liver needs enough protein to help with detoxification. And how much is enough protein? How much protein is enough is a difficult question to answer quickly in this video. I dive into it in other videos, but as a minimum, you need to be getting at least 60 grams of protein per day in order to support this detoxification process, as well as things like having healthy bones. Now, other things like D-glucaric acid, which is found in fruits and vegetables, and also there are some supplements with it, like calcium D-glucarate, can really help support the liver's ability to detoxify certain toxins. Having appropriate hydration, again, you need enough water for the liver to create the bile, which will hold the toxins, bind them, so that can be dumped out into the gut. Certain herbs and foods like milk thistle, nettle, celery, parsley, and dandelion are very supportive of liver detoxification and stimulate those pathways. For the kidneys, it's generally avoiding things that can harm the kidneys. Mostly that has to do with certain medications like anti-inflammatory medications, naproxen, ibuprofen. Those things do harm the kidneys over time. And so you might want to check out my video on how to use things like turmeric and boswellia for anti-inflammatory pain control instead of anti-inflammatory medications that can harm your kidneys. Other medications can cause damage. So your doctor hopefully is testing your kidney function over time if you're on prescription medications, as well as liver function. The liver is also sensitive to certain medications, and making sure you're having enough hydration. That's between 2 to 3.5 liters of good, clean water a day. And that can really help flush the system and make sure that that kidney function stays in a healthy way. And again, just emphasizing the fact that while we're supporting the systems of detoxification, we don't want to overburden the liver. So really cutting back on alcohol. As we age, our ability to detoxify alcohol goes down. What we were able to tolerate before is not what we are able to tolerate now. And tuning into that can be very, very helpful. Again, drugs, both recreational and prescription, need to be really carefully evaluated to make sure that it's not damaging the system. Processed foods with hidden food additives that can harm the gut microbiome is very important, and cutting back or cutting out that sugar and high fructose sources. So it's okay to have fructose from whole fruits. Research has shown that moderate consumption of fruits, like 2 to 3 servings a day, whole fruits that haven't been blended so that the fiber in the water is there to buffer the fructose, that's okay. Your gut microbiome can handle that. It's when we get it through our smoothies, our fruit drinks, our sweet drinks, and our processed foods that it overwhelms the gut microbiome's capacity to break down fructose. And then the fructose gets into the body, goes directly to the liver, and can harm the liver, causing fatty liver disease. The other piece of the equation is that sleep, stress, and personalized care. So the detoxification systems in the body, including the liver and the gut, they all happen mostly during nighttime when we're sleeping well. So you really want to make sure that you're optimizing your sleep in order to get really great detoxification. Chronic stress from sleep deprivation blocks detoxification enzymes. So you want to make sure that you breathe, you rest, and you reset every day to make sure your stress system is lowered, your stress response is controlled, and doesn't cause you to have problems with detoxification from that chronic stress. Now, supplements are very interesting. I'm going to go into supplements to reduce inflammation in a separate episode. But in terms of supplements to support detoxification, there are so many that I'm just going to teach you about my favorite top 2. My top favorite supplements to support detoxification are magnesium bisglycinate and chlorella. Magnesium bisglycinate is magnesium attached to bisglycinate, and the bisglycinate helps that magnesium go into the body, as opposed to the magnesium citrate that stays mostly in the gut. When you have magnesium bisglycinate, it goes into the tissues in the body and it helps replenish our magnesium stores. And our body needs magnesium to make energy. For every molecule of energy called ATP, you need 1 molecule of magnesium. If we're deficient in magnesium due to chronic stress, having problems with good quality magnesium in our foods, lower minerals in our water, we can run into issues with magnesium deficiency in our tissues, and that can lead to problems with detoxification. So having adequate magnesium stores is key, and magnesium bisglycinate is my favorite way to do that. Chlorella is a green algae that has so many nutrients. It's packed with phytonutrients, the bioactive compounds from nature, and lots of minerals and vitamins. And it's been proven to help detoxify heavy metals in humans like mercury, cadmium, arsenic, and aluminum, to cite some examples. It's just a really great, gentle way to help the body detoxify. It's been studied in pregnant women, so it's very, very safe, and also been studied in breastfeeding women, and it's been shown to increase the body's ability to make high quality milk just because it's being given so many nutrients. So it's a great overall supporter of body health. So I really love chlorella for that. Now, having said all of this, it's not just detoxification support that is necessary. You do want to look into an anti-inflammatory diet. What is the right kind of movement? What are some toxins that you want to avoid specifically? What are some supplements you might want to add on to this depending on where you're at? So check out my inflammation playlist in the caption for root cause solutions, and continue your dive into this aspect of your health journey because it will render hugely. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Patricia Mills, MD. It is the very best way to support the Wild Wisdom Show. Save and share. Sharing is caring, and you never know when someone might benefit from this wild wisdom. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.